Hi, I'm Becky Soroka, and I thought I'd like to share with you a portrait project that I currently have in the works. This is the study photo. It's a picture that I shot about a year ago when my daughter and her daughter, my granddaughter Haley, were here visiting. They were sitting on the couch in the late afternoon and they were going through old photographs. When all of a sudden, the afternoon sun came through the back window and hit my daughter's hair, bouncing onto Haley's hair, and it also hit a photograph which Becky was holding in her hand and created this beautiful light, that reflected light that came up over their faces. So of course I grabbed my camera and I shot a couple of photographs while the light was that dramatic. I wanted to paint it right away, but to be honest with you, I really didn't know how to. I didn't know exactly what to include in the picture. I needed to give it some thought. So I waited till about a year and I painted the first fire on it at the end of February when I was down in Pensacola Beach with Marcy and Phyllis Phillips and Bonnie Eberly, having a really good time. The question was, okay, I needed to figure out my goals. What was most important to me? And what was most important to me was two things. Number one is to capture that beautiful light, the contrast between the light and the darkness. And the second thing is I wanted it to somewhat tell a story about showing the closeness of a mother and a daughter in those circumstances. So I tried to determine how much of I wanted to include in my portrait and what elements I wanted to eliminate. I knew I didn't want to paint a plaid couch. Eventually decided that what they were sitting on, the wall and back, none of that really made any significant difference to the portrait. And so I eliminated those features. Instead, I chose to make more of a plain background. What was very important was to capture the light on her hand, and also the lights up here and the way her hair is blasted out. I don't know if you can see it in the photograph. I had originally wondered whether I should extend, draw the hands in to make them complete, but in the end I decided not to. I'll show you a photograph of the first fire. Okay, so this is a photograph of what I did for the first fire. I decided to use black-green as my background. For one thing, as this gets darker and this remains light, that will make a nice dark light contrast to what I intend to be the center of interest, which is the light on the faces. I was very careful when I did the first fire on the hair. When I do the hair, I paint in the hair with a square shader, and then I use my hair texture brush, even on the first fire, just to lightly, it's like I'm brushing the hair. I'm establishing it. And then later on I will add value and more texture. But it was vital that I make sure that I wiped out these very, very light parts, and I left this very, very blasted clean. I didn't want the other colors in the portrait to take away from the center of interest. I couldn't quite decide exactly what I wanted to use for clothing colors, but in the end I decided, at least for the first fire, I did this in a turquoise, and I did Haley's little shirt with violet of iron, and I fired it. this, let me adjust my camera. Alright. This is some second painting that I did on it just a couple of days ago. And I have since decided that I wanted to try to do a video lesson showing how to texture hair. So my intent is that I'm going to wipe off what I have painted here on the hair, and I will try painting that within a video lesson with you watching me. I'm not going to remove the paint from the faces, and I'm not going to remove the paint that the wet paint that I've already got there, that is the dark black, or black green, because I worked pretty hard on the faces, and obviously they need a lot of shading, and there's a lot left to do on them. But it was, I want to make sure that I retain that shape that I carefully put in, that I outlined with the dark black green. So my intent is that I'm going to wipe off what I've got of the hair, and I will try to, in the near future here, shoot a video lesson demonstrating how I texture hair. So I appreciate you watching. This is my first video attempt, so it's probably not very good, but I hope to get better. And I thank you for your interest in letting me share what my vision for this portrait's going to be. Thanks a lot. Bye.